You're watching Newsview with Lee Sullivan.
Welcome back to Newsview, visiting with Ronald Hart, columnist, syndicated columnist, and author, talking about a variety of things. We've been talking about dishing Arizona in favor of Mexico. And I read an article by you well, actually I read two. I read one and then another. You said that you had had some kind of nightmare or epiphany about Mexico invading us with 200,000 Mexicans, but it would be 300,000 if they had one more van. And some papers carried that and some didn't.
Half did, half didn't. I understand, but yeah, it's an old joke. But you gotta laugh at yourself.
I'm there. Yeah. I got it.
Yeah, that's right. There would have been more if they had one more van. So no, it's we've taken on Mexico, and in terms of, look, we're tired of this. They're drawing a hard line in the sand, literally, in Arizona, and good for them. I mean, the country's backing them. I think most people are believing the situation. You've got to do this. I mean, look, I like legal Hispanic immigrants. They're hardworking. They're
I like
family
legal any
people.
kind of immigrants, just like you started your column with Theodore Roosevelt.
Right, exactly.
I mean, Teddy said, come here right, integrate yourself, be an American, and you are American. But if you are anything other than an American, you are not an American.
Adios. Yeah, I agree. And that's what happens. I mean, they're hardworking folks. I mean, they have, they get a lot of benefit for certain things. They have if you're passionate, you have a Latin temper,
Right.
But if you and I do it, we're just jerks.
Right.
You're just like, man, he's a jerk. I mean, good Lord. But if you're Latino, hey, he's passionate. Excuse it. But yeah, it's a rich culture they have, and I look, fundamentally, I like what they have going on there. They want to work, they want jobs, they want to do better for their families. I'd like to kick some Americans out of our country and bring them in, honestly. But I want to do it legally.
You cannot argue the work ethic,
no,
okay?
No doubt
And you cannot argue the complicity that American businesses have in the problem.
Mm-hmm. I agree. That's exactly the case. And it's cheap labor, it's quick labor. You pay them by cash, and they live modestly. The problem now is, and I think where Arizona got upset, is when the jobs were here 3 years ago, it was jobs, but now it's crime because they're desperate and they got nothing to lose. I mean, look, a prison cell for them would be an upgrade.
Well, we had the BP thing down at the port here, and some people called the sheriff because a large number of the people that were working down there on the BP thing were illegal immigrants.
Yeah, I had a Spike Lee moment one time. I was building a porch at my house, and porch is going up really nice, and then Mexicans, they're really working hard. I'm assuming illegal, I don't know. And they're working really hard, and I've had this maid for a long, long time, great lady, Pearl. And I'm looking out, and I'm gonna have a cigar on my porch. It's not done, but, it's 5 o'clock, 5:30, and I'm sitting there. She said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm waiting for them to get done. I'm gonna have a little cigar out there and get a feel for my new porch." She starts shaking her head. She goes, "Mr. Hart, Mexicans don't know nothing about 5 o'clock." I think she said it all. But she's a beautiful, great lady, and she just shook her head. So they don't know nothing about 5 o'clock.
And
don't
you
be
could have
standing around.
said that about the Irish and the Chinese and any others.
True. That's true. I mean, it's the way you come to America. You work hard. You distinguish yourself. You do better for yourself, and you do better for the next generation.
Well,
that's
isn't it
the American
amazing?
dream.
I talk to immigrants. I talk to people that are transferred in, and they have more appreciation for this country than the people that live in this country.
I think we need to reshuffle the deck, send a few out, Barbara Streisand, some others.
Right, Jane Fonda.
Exactly.
Let her go where the buffalo roam. Well, Holder, Erica, he said he hadn't, he went all over the Arizona law, but he admitted that he just hadn't had time in his day to read it.
But he had already opined on it that he didn't like it. So yeah, he didn't, I suggest a summer reading list for him in my column. Perhaps this summer he needs to read the Constitution too. I mean, this is a guy that's just completely an ideologue, and it scares me that he's in the position he is in. I mean, he misspoke on Guantanamo. They tried to get Guantanamo closed down, and it's ready, fire, aim. I mean, they're not thinking it through very well. I'm gonna close it. What are we doing here, George? Oh, we're closing Guantanamo. He signs it, bold proclamation. What are you gonna do with these thugs? No one wants them.
Right.
All of a sudden he's realizing it's no longer a theoretical world, Obama. It's a real world out there. Oil spills happen, disasters happen. These are real life and death situations. This is not some Harvard Law School case study he's in. This is real life. And I think he's not up to the job.
Neither do I. It is not nearly as antiseptic as.
You're watching Newsview with Lee Sullivan.
Welcome back. News View, visiting with Ron Hart, syndicated columnist, author, talking about a variety of issues in this country. We were talking about the fact that Holder hadn't read the Arizona law about illegal immigrants, but as Ron said, opined on it nonetheless. And the Democrats apparently don't read much of anything. Either they can't read or they just don't have the time in their busy life of chasing prostitutes and taking graft and hiding the money in freezers and whatever goes on to read the bailout, the stimulus, or the health care.
Yeah, they don't be troubled by that. I mean, the great line from Pelosi was, "You'll see what's in the bill when we pass it." Right. That is the most arrogant thing I've ever said. And she didn't take it back. She didn't. I mean, it was just a brief glimpse. Every now and then you get a really brief glimpse in the thing. We got it with Obama with the Cambridge police. Every now and then they take their guard down. The teleprompter's not working. And that with Pelosi was a great line. The other great line is Rahm Emanuel said, never waste a good crisis. Right. And they're pushing through their agenda. They're not trying to fix the economy. They didn't fix the economy. They're just trying to push more social programs. And there's an emergency. It's almost like looting during Katrina. That's what they're doing.
It is amazing how close to Atlas Shrugged we are becoming.
Right.
I mean, it really is.
Yeah, and the problem is we're the Dagny Taggarts. Where's John Galt?
Where is John Galt?
They're scared now.
Who is John Galt?
Well, they've been vilified by, if you're a capitalist, who are the people that rule this country and provide the Walmart, the prices Walmart brings goods into towns with, and the jobs created by capitalists is completely lost on these people, and they think it's all them. They think government brought around the abundance of America. Government just proved with the oil spill, they don't know what they're doing. They can't do anything. So, I mean, the notion that these great capitalists, I'm afraid they're going to go away or go to other countries, because recently, Chrysler, Mercedes, it got listed in London. Don't even list their stock anymore. The companies are stopped listing their stocks in the USA because of Sarbanes-Oxley and all this Wall Street reform. We don't need this. We'll go to London Exchange. Right. Anybody can trade it. Money's fungible. Right. It can go from country to country. And it's more fungible now than it has ever been in the history of mankind. So if you are a unaccommodating environment for business, if you have Obama tax, Obamacare, unions empowered, look, they'll move their plant to India like that, and there's no jobs.
Well, you made a point in your column about Mexico and the ability to work there, and they wouldn't have to cross the border because all the plants were moving there.
Yeah, I think I said in the column that the Mexicans could probably go back to Mexico to get good American jobs.
Right.
The plants are moving down there, so there's no stopping this. You just have to be the most accommodative and the most desirable place for business, and business will come there. If you can't do that by making unions strike you all the time, or unions being powerful and over the top plaintiffs' attorneys suing too much. I mean, just for every little slip down or every little slight, both real and imagined, they'll move somewhere else, and they've done it. And that's using the jobless rate. And it probably will be a jobless recovery that we have, because they're not going to add people to the rolls, because it costs them money to pay for the health care. It costs them money to have them on the rolls.
Jeff and I are clearly waiting for the European standard where everybody has a month off.
Yeah, that's what you want to do.
By law.
How about Greece getting mad about they have to retire at 55 versus 54? Like they said on Saturday Night Live, come on, Greece, retire at 55. We got in New York City, they work the lunch counter until they're 89 years old. If you're Greek, I mean, everybody you die. I mean, it's a whole different work ethic, and they get mad when you make them. It's like anything you take away from someone. All of a sudden, you give somebody something. It becomes a right in their mind. You take the least little step. I like what the governor of New Jersey's doing.
Hey, we don't have a revenue problem. Yeah. We have a spending problem.
Exactly.
No more taxes. Exactly. No property tax increase. Now there's one that's we got a few bright ones out there.
Yeah, he may be the next one. If he stares down the teachers unions, he's asking for no pay raise this year. Not a big deal. A lot of people get a pay raise the last 3 years, and 1.5% for them to pay of their health care. Not a big thing, but he stared them down, and they came to the table, and I like his style. So we'll see.
I wish somebody here locally would do something like that, but I think it's hard for a blind person to stare you down. We'll be right back.